Detroit sports right now on the Bottom Line.
And here we go, Tuesday, July 26, 2022. Ermani and Edwards, Bottom Line, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermani, Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good to have you back, my friend. How are the migraines?
Great to be back. You know, I've been having these crazy migraines, and it's nothing to mess around with.
No.
So I thought I was going to die. I thought the brain was going to explode, but instead, you know what they found on the CAT scan?
Oh, Lord, what?
They said your brain is so beautiful and you have such a wealth of knowledge in there. It's just so absorbing of all of the information that is surrounding you.
Right.
Now wonder why you're so smart.
You had the electrons, the neurons, they were firing, everything was firing on all cylinders.
Braylon, they
Okay.
said the brain is pulsating because it simply cannot handle all of the information that I have up there.
Especially with training camp starting today, especially with the season around the corner, especially with things going good. There's a lot of things going on up there, big guy.
I'm telling you, shout out to Stick for the fill-in yesterday. Certainly the MVP around here. Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you, buddy.
Hey, guys. Welcome back. The team is back. It's a beautiful back-to-back gorgeous days out there. I mean, it's been outstanding. Yesterday was gorgeous. Today. And some great sports coming up. Tigers and Padres. The 84 World Series revisited downtown.
Did you know that the San Diego Padres have never beaten the Tigers in Detroit?
Isn't that something?
7-0. The Tigers are.
That's
San
something.
Diego.
And there, baby.
I never knew that. It was 12-4 last night. Miggy finally snaps 51-game home runless streak. I was nervous for a second because I was thinking that I went to Miggy's last home run. I was there when he hit the one against the Orioles. So I'm like, did I see Mickey's last home run? And then he hits one yesterday and he went by 8. So shout out to Mickey Cabrera, now moving into 13th all-time.
And it's a big fan night tonight down at Comerica Park, led by our own Adam Beydoun and company.
You know, it's funny, and we'll try to get Adam in here at some point over the next couple of hours. Adam's going to go down there, and he's making his signs, and he wants Avila fired. Okay? And I understand what he's trying to do, okay? I mean, now, Adam and I disagree on methods a lot.
Right.
Like he's giving me the finger over there right now. But I love Adam's passion for Detroit sports. And look, the bottom line is this, no pun intended. You can't suck for 7 seasons and not expect to have a little bit of backlash.
Yeah.
And you don't get to have 3 or 4 or 5 more seasons before you're good again.
Yeah.
It's just not how it works.
And also, you know, if you're talking about 7 years of a rebuild, 7 years of drafting talent and saying, hey, you know what, we're going to trade Verlander, we're going to trade these guys, we're going to start over essentially. We're going to rebuild our franchise, rebuild our team in the city. And if those teams get progressively worse year after year after year, I mean, look at last year, now look at this year. The years are getting progressively worse. So it's like, you can't do that. It's one thing to rebuild, and it's another thing to, when you rebuild, to go backwards from the rebuild where you're going. You can't do that thing and then keep your job.
So we'll check in with Beydoun a little bit later on in the show to get the lay of the land tonight. Guys, NFL training camp, all 32 teams, the veterans are in camp.
Finally.
All 32 teams today. NFL is back, Bray.
Finally, The Rock has come back to the NFL training camp. I'm glad, man. It's good to see. We've been talking about it since January, even when the playoffs were still going on, getting excited about what the Lions could potentially do. And just the NFL season and the landscape as a whole. You saw all the deals made in the offseason. You talked about the AFC West and what they did in reloading with Devontae Adams and then adding Khalil Mack and then adding Russell Wilson and then talking about the draft, talking about the Lions, talking about Hard Knocks. I'm excited. It's here. It's one of those things where typically, Ryan, when you look at any season, all right, you got 5, maybe 4 main topics. These are the headlines of training camp in the NFL. These are the 5 things to keep your eye on in training camps in the NFL leading into the season. But this year, I tried to find 5 specific things to focus on. I can't get anything less than 10 to focus on. There's Russell Wilson and what the Broncos are going to be. What is Devontae Adams? What is that division? First of all, start there. What are the Lions going to do just for us? What is Aaron Rodgers going to do without Devontae Adams? Your boy Tom Brady. retires, comes back. Now he's back. So what are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? The Super Bowl champs. They lose Von Miller. They potentially probably going to lose Odell Beckham. What are they going to do now that they have Bobby Wagner, a linebacker? Now that they have Allen Robinson, Detroit native. It's so many different storylines. The Dallas Cowboys, are they even going to make the playoffs? Tyreek Hill, what are they going to do in Kansas City? And then Tua Tagovailoa down there in Miami, getting the weapons. So many storylines, you can't just pick 5.
And so we won't. And thankfully, we have probably the next month and a half of training camp before we get through all of the storylines, because there is just so many storylines to get through. And we'll examine as many as we can, if not all of them, as we go throughout the NFL season. Big guest alert today in studio. I am so thrilled.
On their way.
To bring in Jerry Stackhouse today.
Yeah.
Former Detroit Piston. Remember when he dropped 57 against the Bulls?
I do.
The Pistons announced that teal uniform as an alternate. Braylon, I think that is pretty cool as an alternate. Now, if they went back to that permanently, probably had a problem with it, but it's an alternate.
Yeah, I like it as an alternate. I like it because it does. I mean, you think about it, Grant Hill wore that. Jerry Stackhouse wore that. Both those guys went to NBA All-Star games wearing that jersey. I mean, and it's cool as an alternate. It's cool if you see it, 4 times a year? Something like
10.
that. 10 times a year? Yeah, I'll take that. But if you're looking at that jersey 80 times a year, nah, I can't do that jersey. But just thinking about Jerry Stackhouse, man, he was a damn good player for the Detroit Pistons. I actually know him personally. He took me under his wing as a young guy, and can't wait till he gets on here and we can ask some stories and we can share some stories as well.
Hey, the old logo of the Pistons ball that says Detroit Pistons, it's a fine logo. It is. It's a fine logo. But I do like the horsepower logo. Why not stick that on there, red, white, and blue all year round? That's my opinion. I like the horsepower.
I do think Chauncey I think the Pistons, before they won the title, I think they did have a variation where the Pistons horse
on the ball
was on the shorts.
Yeah. I think you're correct.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think that should be your logo.
I think that's where Hooper comes from.
There you go.
I think that's where Hooper comes from. I think you're right about that. Yeah.
Look at that.
Well, Hooper, it's horsepower.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I think when he had the version on the shorts, but go ahead. I think I agree with you on that, though.
Guys, a big story around here locally as well. Jim Harbaugh spoke with the media just about an hour ago in in Indianapolis. It is Big Ten Media Days. He was the final coach to speak at today's session. Mel Tucker and Michigan State will go tomorrow. So, we'll focus on Michigan and Jim Harbaugh today because they spoke. Tomorrow, we'll go through what Mel Tucker said and some of the question marks, some of the hopes and expectations that the Michigan State Spartans had. But, Brad, a couple of things from Jim Harbaugh that stuck out to me today. Number one, first and foremost, he's an extremely weird guy. He is as socially awkward as you will find.
Oh, hey.
I'm sitting in the Lions Den here watching it with Maz.
He's robotic.
And it was more about how he's answering questions than what he's saying.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it to somebody who doesn't know. It's
Ask
just
me a question about the schedule. I'm going to pretend I'm him.
Okay. Jim, Fox 47 press pass. Do you envision scheduling more Power 5 conference teams? Well,
I don't know.
Some Michigan fans have addressed the concerns with me regarding the schedule, Colorado State, Hawaii, and such.
Well, I'll run that by Ward Manual, and we'll let you know.
Take your concerns to Ward Manual.
You gotta have a little bit more like it's a pop when you ask. Like, let's pretend you asked the question already. It's like, yeah. That's a good one. Just put the guys out there and let Cade figure it out, and we'll see. Hey, we'll just worry about it in Arbor. It's like, what?
It is so weird, but either way, defending Big Ten champs for the first time since 2004. That is how Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan contingent head into Indianapolis. He talked about the goals for this year. The goals for this year, Braylon, beat Ohio State and Michigan State in the same season, win the Big Ten championship, and win the national championship. I would hope that is the goal for every program in the country as they start out, every big name Power 5 team in the country as they start out the year. But I think to say it out loud, to speak it into existence, I think it's pretty great.
I think another thing about it is, those are the goals every year that, you play at University of Michigan. Those are the goals every year since Jim Harbaugh's gotten here in 2015. But now it's the first time you actually kind of believe in it. It's like now as he's making those the goals, now as he's saying that out loud, he's saying, hey, the goal is to beat Ohio State in Columbus for the first time since 2000. It's to beat Mel Tucker for the first time since he's been a coach at Michigan State. And then it's to win the Big Ten, and then it's to go win a national championship. It's the first time he said those words out loud that you're actually like, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I can see you beating Michigan State this year. I can see you beating Ohio State this year. And, the national championship, we'll figure that out down the line. But it's the first time he's made those comments. He said them out loud. And he's believed in them. That's the key. He's believed in them. The players believe in the messages. The players believe in the message as well. And with that being said, the fans now believe in that message as well. So I think that's the key. You talk about goals. You said something else that he said. I don't know if you said it. You said it off camera, but I'm going to say it now. He said the best player will play, right?
Yep, that's right.
Talking about Cade McNamara, talking about JJ, the best player will play. Well, when asked about that, he said Cade McNamara scored on 50% of his drives last year. And then the next thing he said was, I don't know what JJ was. That's telling me the best player is not going to play. Cade McNamara is going to play because Cade's already the starter.
Yeah, and that's where I want to go next. Braylon, we'll take a break, and we'll examine what he said about the quarterbacks and just how divisive this is on a team. How divisive can it be on a team? You'll have Cade guys. You'll have JJ guys. And then in the room, how supportive can they actually be of each other? Is this thing going to work itself out? I'll ask you that question, give my take as well. But first, a message from MyBookie.
Oh, that's me. MyBookie, that's right. And if you're a first-timer at MyBookie.ag, where you been all this time? Use the promo code Woodward when you're putting your bets in tonight on that Tigers-Padres game. You heard Ryan. The Tigers have never lost to the Padres in Detroit. So take that into consideration. The Mets and Yankees Subway Series starts tonight as well. Some good stuff to bet. And you can do it at MyBookie.ag. With the promo code Woodward, they'll double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, please use the Michigan Problem Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Hey, gang, welcome in. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Armani, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. We got Fletch and Flannel in the house as well. Talking a little Michigan football. Jim Harbaugh spoke with the media today. By the way, if you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button for us. Also, subscribe to Woodward Sports. Coming up on 30,000 subscribers, a little less than 700 subscribers away from 30,000.
Ooh, getting there, man. I love those Big Ten conferences, man. I've been to 2 of them, man. Talking about one as an analyst, talking about one as a player. They are fun things to talk about. They're fun things to be a part of, man.
And Cade McNamara is there as well. And, look, he had a quote just a little bit ago saying, I do feel like this is my team. I did a lot last year that I think has given me the right. Yeah. I'm paraphrasing here, of course, that has given me the right to lead this team into this season. And I feel like most Michigan fans are on Team JJ. Am I crazy there? We're picking up some glass, by the way, in studio. The Fletch, the cup holder.
Sheesh.
Adam Beydoun
in the building
does a lot here. Now he's in studio picking up some glass. So
in his romper.
In his Tigers romper. He'll join us in the next segment, by the way.
He's got a onesie. No, you know what? Talking about the Cade McNamara versus JJ, it's one of those things where the players on the team know what Cade went through last year to become the starting quarterback, to be QB1 at University of Michigan. The players were there. The players saw what he went through. The players saw that he won the Big Ten championship for him. The players saw that he dealt with individuals wanting JJ the whole year, and he handled it like a trooper. He handled it like a soldier. He handled it very classy and very professionally. So he is QB1 for the University of Michigan Wolverines. Whatever you think about it, whether you think that JJ is a better quarterback or if he's a better talent. Now, if they open the quarterback, the room up to controversy, to challenge, to competition, we'll see who plays out. But we already know the answer. The answer is Cade McNamara is going to win that job. It won't separate the teams, and this is why. Players are on the same team. They saw the whole process of getting to the Big Ten championship, to beating Ohio State, to beating Iowa, getting to the playoffs, and they know that Cade was a quarterback when they pulled that off. So they're going to be in support. It won't be cliquish like, man, JJ, I wish you were the guy, but it's this guy. You won't see that. But what you will see this year, Ryan, you will see Jim put JJ in the game a lot more, but it won't be to the level of splitting time like you always talk about with Drew and Tom Brady. It won't be you play this half or you play this quarter, you play this quarter, and we'll see who hot. Cade McNamara is going to be QB1, but JJ will probably play upwards of 20 snaps a game.
You know, that's even an interesting thing, too, because, look, Cade McNamara this is not his final year of eligibility.
Right.
You know, he's coming back next year, too. So, I mean, you're going to have this situation next year if both quarterbacks come back, but 1 year at a time. I will say that the biggest concern that I have with Cade McNamara is you've got to change the offense. And that's up to, Matt Weiss and Sharon Moore. They have got to change the offense. I understand Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards and all that, but you have some of the most talented wide receivers collectively you have had on your team since Braylon Edwards was there with Jason Avant, Steve Breston, Ron Bellamy, and a couple of other guys.
I agree with you 100%. The interesting thing about it is we talk about how easy or how kind of mundane their schedule is for the first 8 games of the year, with the exception of the Iowa game. I think that gives Jim Harbaugh, that gives Sharon Moore, that gives Weiss a chance to assess Cade's play. It gives them a chance to say, hey, look, you got 4 games to really lock it in there.
Yeah.
You got 4 to 5 games to really lock in as our guy. I would even say 5. You got 5 games, lock it in as the guy. Show us why we're choosing you as QB1. Show us why we won with you last year. You won the Big Ten championship. If he can't get it done in those 5 games, then I think you see Jim Hart kind of pull some of that Nick Saban where it's like, you know what? It's about the bigger goal, and the bigger goal is the Big Ten championship. The bigger goal is the playoffs and then ultimately a national championship game. So I think you will see if he can't get it done in 5 games, if he does not progress from where he was last year, because he took steps back towards the end of last season, the Iowa game and then the game against Georgia in the Orange Bowl. So 5 games is what you have. If you can't show us that you're QB1 in 5 games, then we'll go other places. We'll see what JJ can do.
But he's not going to do that. Because that's just the way he is. Although you hit it right on the head. That's the preseason. Yeah. The first few games is the preseason. And if you want to find your quarterback by then, because then again the weather gets a little rougher, and then the Big Ten schedule is starting, and you want to get it going, man. And this kid came here as a #1 recruit in the country. If you keep him on the bench, I don't think it does you any favors for down the line for quarterbacks coming here.
So that's exactly where I was going to go next. And it's not so – look, if Cade McNamara is better than J.J. McCarthy, you play Cade McNamara, regardless of what that may signal to, a future recruit. Who's the kid from King that was in here?
Dante Moore.
Dante Moore. If I'm Dante Moore, why in the world would I want to go to Michigan? Like, think about it for a second. And I'm not just saying because JJ's on the bench.
Yeah.
I'm saying you've got to change your offensive philosophy. God bless Hassan Haskins and what he did last year, I don't want to see Blake Corum do that this year, to be honest with you. If you are, it's not enough to win anymore. These players, they want to be showcased.
Yeah.
They want to be featured. What good is it to have some of the best wide receivers collectively? Again, if you look at Michigan's wide receiver room, that room is as good as it's been in 20 years.
Yeah, I agree.
What's the point of having all that talent in that room if you're not going to have some fun and sling it around? So who is the quarterback that allows you to do that more? And you can win either way. You're going to be able to win running the football. You're going to be able to win throwing the football. You're going to be able to win any way you want to win this year, in my opinion, because of how talented you are. But you've got to do it with a little bit of flash. You got to do it with a little bit of flair. And if you don't do it that way, I'm sorry, winning is not enough for these recruits coming up anymore. They want to have fun. They want to be showcased. They don't want you to run the ball 50 times.
I agree with you 100%. And I think last year, and maybe I'm going to go out on a limb and give Jim Harbaugh some future credit. Last year, Jim Harbaugh saw what happened towards the end of the year. He saw the Iowa game. He saw the Georgia game. Because I still think J.J. could have played in that Georgia game and Michigan would have done better than they did. But he didn't. He stuck with the guy that he'd been with all year, and I get that. Jim Harbaugh got to the playoffs last year, Ryan. Jim Harbaugh got to taste what that success feels like. Jim Harbaugh got to taste what the country talks about when you win the Big Ten, when they're talking about Michigan. This season, Michigan's number 4 going into the season. So going into this year, I guarantee you Jim's mindset is different than it was last year. Jim's mindset is like, you know what? I'm going to play my guy that won us, that got us to the Big Ten championship last year. I'm going to play this guy. But I also know the ultimate goal is not to get to the Orange Bowl. The ultimate goal is not to get to the playoffs. It's to win the national championship game, and it's to beat Ohio State again and again and beat them down in Columbus. And I think that this year, Jim Harbaugh, after having a little taste of that last year, he's like, you know what? After 5-6 games, if it's not going right with Cade, you know what? I want that feeling again. I like my off season this year. I like being with my family and traveling and doing reels and everybody talking about me from afar. I like the feeling of coming back reigning, defending. So that's why I think he won't be loyal after game 6 if it's not going right, because he know what that felt like last year in this offseason.
Now, you brought up Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum. And what was the rumor when Lloyd Carr's grandson was coming out and he wound up going to Notre Dame? And all of a sudden someone on Tammy Carr's Twitter put in, oh, why would I go there when all they do is run the ball, basically?
Nah.
So you better hope, as a quarterback, as a kid that's coming in here, as a J.J. McCarthy, and a future number 1 5-star guy coming in here, you want to hope that you're going to go to a place where they're going to throw the ball around, where they're not just going to hand it off, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, or whatever the old saying was. That's long gone, man. This is a wide open new game now in the new Big Ten. I believe that.
And I think even with that, and just for 2 seconds, Ryan, I think even with that, they're a different backfield this year. There's still a 2-headed monster in there, but both of those guys aren't Hassan Haskins. They aren't guys that you're going to ground and pound with the whole game. They're not guys you're going to give the ball to 40 times and just beat teams down and wear teams down and then eventually do play-action pass. Blake Corum is a guy that very much moves out of the backfield to catch passes. He runs screens. Donovan Edwards, he does a lot of that too. I think you will see a different offense because those are different running backs. They're not the Hassan Haskins ground and pound, and then you bring Blake Corum to change it up. They're already both change-up running backs, so I think the offense will be a lot different even in the start of the year.
Guys, there's so many different avenues we can go when it comes to Michigan football. We will try to hit on all of those throughout the next couple of weeks, but I do want to change our attention to the Tigers. Again, we're going to have Jerry Stackhouse in studio with us within the next 30 minutes or so. So I want to get to a couple of other topics, including the Tigers. Adham Beydoun, Morning Woodward Show, going down to the Tigers game tonight. There's a lot of fans that have displeasure with what's happening down there. We'll talk to Adham about what he plans on doing. We'll do that next. But first, a message from SMA.
The sports marketing agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Yesterday, we were on location at NAMI. NAMI is the National Alliance on Mental Health, or mental illness. An amazing job that Sean Jordan, the NFL Alumni Association of Detroit, does, as well as other health integrated networks, just having the conversation, talking about mental health, talking about addiction, talking about it being okay to not be okay. If you or anybody you know has an issue, you might have an issue, or you just want some questions, go to thesportsma.com to find out how you or someone you know can get the help they need.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. Ribbit. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Just stop in, tell them we sent you, and they will print you one on the spot. So go to Big Frog Novi today and get your free t-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi. Again, that is bigfrog.com/Novi.
Special guest in studio coming up in just about 15-20 minutes from now. It'll be Jerry Stackhouse. In the meantime, we have another special guest in the studio, the great Adham Beydoun, Morning Woodward Show. Very, very popular, and that's one hell of a get-up. You're looking good there, Adham.
Thanks, man.
What do you got on?
I got on a romper. It's a Tigers romper. It's a bunch of tigers.
Tiger King. There you go, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Look at that.
Somebody's got to support this awful goddamn
Now,
team.
you're going to the game tonight. You are displeased with the way the season has gone, with the direction of the organization. Who are you going down to the game with?
I'm taking Justin. He is going to record the whole thing.
So it's going to be Fire Avila night? Is that what it is?
Essentially.
There it is right there. Be loud, bring signs. Sections 101 to 106. July 26th versus the Padres. Now, you have made a big deal out of this night. And look, to be honest, full disclosure, I do not disagree with you. I do not believe Al Avila should still be in charge of the Detroit Tigers. If, by nothing else, you are what your record says you are. Yeah. And the Detroit Tigers for the last 7 seasons have been miserable.
You've proved enough. Like, you've had 7 years. We talked about in 2014 when obviously they had a real good team, terrible bullpen, and we lost to the Royals. Ever since then, it was here's the rebuild. We're getting rid of guys. We're going to bring guys in. We're going to turn this thing around. And it hasn't been the case. And it's only actually gotten progressively worse. So with that being said, what more do you need to see from this individual to know that he isn't capable to do the job as the general manager for the Detroit Tigers?
I'm disgusted.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even come up with that, by the way. That was some dude, random fan, on Twitter. I got almost like 50 DMs and mentions telling me I should go to this game. I was like, you know what? I'm for the people. So, you know, we're going to go out in style.
Now, what is that?
That's a hippo.
It's a hippo.
Do you know what a hippo means?
I don't.
So, another synonym for hippo is Al Avila. You guys ever hear that? No?
I'm hearing it now.
This is legitimate. This is the thing. This is Al Avila.
In what realm? Is that the shape of Al Avila?
Well, the stomach really matches the hump of this hippo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you turn this, okay,
I'm calling him fat.
100%.
So that's the first one.
Oh my gosh.
We have 6 total. I'm only going to show 2.
That's good. Yeah, you show us some signs here.
All right, get ready for this one. By the way, let me ask you guys a question before I show you this.
Yeah.
Out of all the trades Al Avila's ever made, what has he gotten back in return?
Pretty much nothing.
All right. Well, I like to say a bag of condoms.
Yeah.
Eat a bag of
Oh.
I love it.
Hey,
I love
You know what? Here.
As Jerry Stackhouse behind you.
Look, Jerry.
As Jerry's walking behind you.
Come on, Adam.
Braylon, I think you're the only one that could even use this. So.
Come on, man. You're
I
killing
don't know
us.
what to say.
You're killing us. So you're going down there tonight, and we'll see. Maybe they'll get a win tonight for you, Adam.
Maybe 2 in a row.
Now, there's no way they're letting you take those signs in there.
I try to explain.
There's no way they're letting you take those signs in there.
I have 6.
You gonna stuff them down your romper?
I have 2. I'm gonna stuff. I have 2 with another
person.
person.
Where do you buy a onesie at like that?
I have no idea. I bought this online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazon, I'm sure.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even remember. The goal is to get probably arrested. We'll see.
Well, we hope not. We hope not. Adam, good luck
tonight.
Can you
fill in for me tomorrow?
What's that?
Can you fill in for me tomorrow?
You know what? Sadly, or not sadly, I do a job just right at the same time as you as well.
This is true.
So I'll be on the air in the morning tomorrow, so I will not be able to fill in for you
I'll watch
if you get arrested tonight.
Yeah, I'll watch you from prison then.
Very good.
I might be able to. We'll figure it out.
Maybe Braylon can fill in for you.
We'll see.
All right, we're going to move you out, Adam. And in the meantime, we'll get Jerry all set up. But look, the deal here, Braylon, for a lot of Tigers fans, is you simply cannot be that bad for that long and not have
repercussions.
They're lucky fans still care about them, what's going on right now.
At the end of the day, in sports, anybody can tell you that there's consequences and repercussions when you don't produce. When you're not successful, when you don't produce over time, when you consistently lose, when you consistently are bad, when you're consistently statistically and wins and losses and the style of play you're playing are bad. It's one thing to lose. Let's get into that for 2 seconds before we get to my guy over here. The style of play that they're playing is horrible. They are statistically terrible in almost every category with the exception of defense in the infield. Outside of that, they're bad at batting, they're bad at hitting, they're terrible. They are horrible. So with that being said, how long does somebody get a pass? How long do you give Avila a pass for and let him continue to do his job with no consequences and no repercussions?
Well, after 7 years, Braylon, you want to feel like it's on an upswing, right?
Not a downswing.
You want to feel like you've got some hope. Right now, I think down at Comerica Park, you don't feel like there's much hope down there outside of Riley Green. I'm not even sure Spencer Torkelson you're feeling good about right now. I mean, he's a rookie, and heaven forbid, you don't want to. I mean, you want to give the kid a chance, and he will get a chance, but can you tell me right now that he's going to be an all-star caliber player? No. You can't tell me that. So
the only thing the Tigers are hanging their hat on the last 2 years is the fact that Miggy hit 500 last year and 3,000 this year.
Yeah.
That's all they've been riding. And Riley Green a little bit. That's all they've been riding is Miggy. How long are you going to ride that guy?
Yeah, no doubt about it. So, we hope things happen down there. Look, we don't want anybody to lose their jobs. I mean, we really don't. It's not something you root for. It's not something you root for ever. But at the end of the day, this thing's about wins and losses. And if you're going to lose, Braylon, if you're going to lose, you've got to give people some hope. And right now, there's just not a lot of hope down there.
Well, it's some hope down there, just not at Comerica Park.
You know where there is hope?
LCA, baby.
Little Caesars Arena, downtown Detroit. There is tons of hope when it comes to the Detroit Pistons, and there's a lot going into it right now. We're going to take a break. 60 seconds from now, who's got the folding warehouse?
Maz has a folding, but
We'll take a break. Come right back. We'll get back to those reads. Jerry freaking Stackhouse in the house next.
Big bro. It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron. Here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Ciabattas, summer salad. all at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar, all on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with our Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a frosty hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Planet Fitness is inviting all high school teens between the ages of 14 and 19 to work out for free all summer long, going all the way till August 31st via the high school summer pass. For everyone else, if you want to get jacked like Jerry freaking Stackhouse, Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere with membership starting at only $10 a month. Or you can get
only $10?
Only $10.
$10.
Or you can get a black card for $24.99.
Got one of those.
Hell yes. Join today in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Essential, no judgments. Guys, this is really cool. Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Armani, Braylon Edwards, and Jerry freaking Stackhouse. Stack, welcome in. Thanks so much for coming to town and coming into the studio. How you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Appreciate you guys having me, man. Appreciate being on.
And you have the teal. You're wearing the teal Piston shirt. I think we got a problem with your mic, real quick.
Turn on.
Is that? I think. Look at that.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
So
Now we're in the
Stack
building.
is back in the house. We can hear him.
Yeah.
And you're wearing the teal Piston shirt.
Yeah, man. I represent the teal, man. We're bringing the teal back. We're relaunching the teal. The fans wanted it back. We're bringing it back. So, man, I'm excited to hear. This was my era, kind of the bridge era between the Bad Boys and the 04 championship team. So glad they thought enough about us during that time. A lot of people thought it was a mediocre time, but we played hard and we competed, and we're glad to represent it and bring it back.
I never thought that.
Yeah, we have these younger Pistons fans. Like we have an entire young group in the back that we have a Woodward Pistons umbrella. They love the Pistons and they love the teal. I don't know if they weren't alive back in the teal era or what, but it's almost like this cult following.
Generation Z, man. I think that's what it's called. I mean, I'm coaching a lot of guys now, 18 to 20, 21, 22. They love pink. They love lime green. So I can see the teal being a hit with that age group.
Man, it's good to see my brother on the show, man. It's funny, we have a lot of these former Detroit stars and legends that come here, and I'm always like my big brother, and everybody's always like, Cap, you don't know this dude. I'm like, I know all these people because my dad had me in the room, and then once I got to Michigan, I met Jerry. I was about to go to Michigan, met him, got cool with him, he took me under his wing, and I might have done something at his house that was accident.
He tells a story about coming to your house.
My guy.
If there's one thing that a country boy from North Carolina is anal about, and that's his grass. And this boy came over to my house and ran on my grass and left his tire marks on my grass. They left. They was like, man, he's going to Michigan next year. I was like, I sure hope he can catch better than he can drive. But no, that's been my boy ever since, man. I love this kid. Glad to see him doing as well as he's doing right now.
Appreciate that, man. Let's jump into it. You talked about you're available right now. We'll get into the Pistons, but that's the first team to offer me a scholarship, so full circle. Talk about what made you want to get into coaching initially anyway. What wanted you to go that route after having a tremendous NBA career, after having more than enough means to know whatever the hell you want to do? You went into coaching. Why is that?
I mean, because it's similar, just back to you. I mean, even when you were a high school kid, you was there being able to talk to you and share with you. I always felt like giving back to the younger players. I didn't have that when I came into the league. I had the older players who were, really kind of didn't want to show you anything because they were scared that you were there to take their job, right? Yeah. And so I felt like I was never going to be that guy. I wanted to make sure I wrapped my arms around the younger players, and I did that as, at every stop that I was being. So it was natural once I finished playing. I did some broadcasts, I did some radio shows and different things, but ultimately I wanted to be back with something that kept me close to the game. And I started an AAU program, man, had success with that. Got an opportunity to take a team over to Europe, got in front of some GMs, and had an opportunity to start coaching, and I love it, man. Glad to be where I'm at. I love head coaching. It was cool being an assistant, making suggestions, but I like making the decisions.
I love that.
Jerry, you get to Vanderbilt. You already send 3 players to the NBA. One of those guys, our guy here in Detroit, Saban Lee. What can you tell us about him? And do you know a guy has it when he steps on campus? Do you know a guy can take it to the next level?
I think I did. I mean, Saban Lee was one of those guys, an unbelievable athlete. You know, I think that was the first thing that stood out to me about Saban. Just an athlete, downhill driver. He was a point guard. I decided to give the ball to Scottie Pippen because I felt like it was best for our long term of where we needed to go. But I think Aaron Nesmith was. I just walked on the court with him and just started shooting with this kid, and this kid was like making shots at a clip. I was like, this kid can be a pro, right? I didn't know how well he could handle the basketball, but just shooting the basketball, he could be a pro, and ultimately he wound up being, a lottery pick, close to a lottery pick. Saban as well, you know what I'm saying? Just the sheer athletic ability showed me that he could play in this league.
Sticking with the college theme, I guess it even extends to the NBA. What do you think about now, just like yourself, the guys that played the game now coming back to coach the game? You're at Vanderbilt. You got down the street, you got Juwan Howard. Hubert Davis is at North Carolina, your alma mater. And then Ayadoka over there with the Celtics and what he's able to do. What is it about being a former player? I know the answer, but I want to hear it from you because you're in that shoe. What is it about getting the players?
Well, I mean, I think for us, it's like, we have a certain level of credibility. All those guys want to go where we've been. I think that, so for me, I never had an issue with guys listening. You know what I'm saying? Now I got their eyes are open, their ears are open because they know that, I kind of have a blueprint of not actually, doing it myself, but I coached at that level too. So I know what the coaches are looking for and I know what that takes. So that really resonates with young players, and obviously a little bit difficult. I can't just walk into any gym and grab any kid because of the high academic standards that we have there at Vanderbilt. Right. So it's got to be a well-rounded kid that, has done well and shown that he can perform well in the classroom. But, I still want to be able to find those guys that can be a killer on the basketball court.
Very true.
I don't want to get you in trouble, Jerry, but do you feel like you'd like to taste the NBA at a head coaching level or anything like that?
I mean, we're in a volatile business, what I'm saying, and things can change very quickly, but I'm very happy where I'm at. I've been able to pretty much build what we have now from the ground up. We took over a team that was, didn't win an SEC game, and in 3 years we were, in the semifinals of the NIT, so it's not like I'm ready to run from, something that we just built, but I never put the pros out of my mind because I've obviously played for almost 20 years. I coached in the NBA, so that could be something down the road. But I could very well see myself being in Vanderbilt for the next 20, 30 years as well. Because
Hey, living in Nashville isn't bad.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Good. But I'm pretty simple, man. I got great restaurants. The city's growing. And like I said, I'm pretty simple. You give me a grocery store and a Home Depot, I'm cool.
Man, I love that.
Talking to Jerry Stackhouse, former Piston, back in town is the Detroit Pistons announced they are going to play 10 games next season in the Piston teal.
Speaking of the Pistons too, like after that incident that happened when I was at your house, I think that's the weekend you used to do when your homeboys are coming to town. And don't worry, hey Ryan, I hooped though. I went in there, I dunked on a couple people now. I had some fun. But after that, you were traded to the Washington Wizards, and I just remember like being, I'm saying, like, I'm man up, but I remember heartbroken. I'm like, my big brother's gone. He gets traded right after we started to build this bond. How were you thinking about leaving Detroit at that time and then going to Washington Wizards?
No,
I was like, Rip Hamilton, what?
Yeah, it was disappointing, man, because I felt like we're building. We went from a team that was 32-50. The next season we was 50-32. Got in the playoffs, lost in the second round. So it was like the next phase for us was making the conference finals and ultimately getting to the finals. I felt like that was the trajectory we was on. I was just, it was summer day out at I guess I was on Woodward somewhere at a gun shop or something. I was out there. I don't know why. I was just at a gun shop.
I was on 13 and 13. Yeah. It's on 13
and I get a call, from Fred Whitfield, Michael Jordan's right-hand man, is like, we got you. I'm like, huh? You got me.
It's your contract.
We just traded for you. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even really hear it from anybody on our side. So it's like the team I've been, blood, sweat, and tears for, playing through growing pains, growing injuries, and all that. Just to try to get into the playoff seeds, and all of a sudden I don't even hear it from my side. So I was a little disappointed about that, and obviously wasn't excited about going to Washington from where we had started build, toward a championship. They were talking about making the playoffs. So, it was a tough pill to swallow. Definitely tough to watch the team kind of take off and actually win the championship a couple of years. A lot of things fell into place, getting Chauncey, getting Rashid, and having to sit back and watch that. But what don't kill you make you stronger. So and I got put in a great situation from that. I eventually landed in Dallas, made a finals run. Had a chance to win the championship. Probably one of the best experiences I had in my life. Made some lifelong relationships there. So but things happen for a reason. And I just felt that that was one of those moments where you just got to suck it up, be a professional. Go to went to Washington, did my job. Played with Michael Jordan for a year, and got to experience different cities, but ultimately, man, it was disappointing for sure.
Jerry, how would you characterize your time here in Detroit? I mean, you played your best years here. I mean, statistics-wise, anyway. I mean, two-time All-Star here. You brought the organization back to on the cusp of a championship level. I mean, the 57-point game against Chicago was something that lives on in Pistons history forever. How would you characterize your time here? Because there's a lot of people that look very fondly upon you, and you played damn near 20 years in the NBA. I was talking to Braylon about this before the show. We consider you a Piston. You can play 8 different teams, 9 different teams, but you're a Piston to us.
I don't care about none of that.
Right.
All I care about is Detroit Pistons.
He played 2 years. He played 2 years with the Jets. He considers himself a Jet. You know what I mean? Like, it's. What do you consider yourself?
I consider myself a Piston, man, no doubt. I mean, I had unbelievable success as individual success. Probably had more to team success, with the Mavericks. But again, I was in the prime of my career. Was able to do some special things here. I really resonated with the city. The city resonated with me. I didn't, even though we was out in Auburn Hills, I was downtown. I was at the Rattlesnake Club. I was at Floods. I had me a little apartment in the cut down at the riverfront. You know what I'm saying? So it was,
City.
I lived it up a little bit here. So man, but it's definitely I'm a Piston for life. So when I get an opportunity to come back and be able to have these type of moments, to be able to relive some of those moments, to reveal the teal jerseys, man, I jump at those opportunities. I'm glad that the organization and the people around think enough of me to always ask me back.
So you've been around town over the last 24 hours or so. What has the reaction been like to the teal? I'm going to ask you that question. We'll do it next. 60-second break, but first a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. We will be live there in Dearborn tomorrow on Michigan Avenue. That new Corvette Z06 2023 on hand. We invite everybody out. Come see us. Come see the new Corvette 2023 Z06. We'll see you there tomorrow.
We'll be there.
12. We'll be there all day, but 2 to 4, we'll see you there. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find a new road.
Find them.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Hey, we're fired up. Did you check the baseball schedule today? Man, we got a Subway Series starting. I know our boy Maz, he's going to be fired up. Hey, I might even have a play for that one here shortly, so pay attention. But listen, before you got to get over to that app store and download oddstrader.com. Listen, it's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and it's the best place to check all the odds at the sports books right in the palm of your hand. Hey, Maz, you ready for this winter? We're going to take your boys, the Yankees, in the first 5 against the Mets. Mets don't hit very well against lefties, and let's just keep that bullpen out of it for the Yankees. OddsTrader.com, Woodward Bets. Check it out.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
At Alta. Uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. Have a big project coming up? Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That is 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
It is so great and such a pleasure to welcome in Jerry Stackhouse, former Detroit Piston, back announcing that the Detroit Pistons will wear the teal, the throwback teal, 10 games next season. I love it. What has the reaction been like around town as you've been out and about, Jerry?
No, I mean, it's more excited than I expected. but no, I think again, the fans wanted it back, and everybody excited about it. I mean, it's just a new wave. I mean, the color, I don't think we thought much about it at the time. We were just happy to have the uniform on. I know it was kind of divisive at first, going from the red, white, and blue to the teal, but I think it's great as an alternative for a few games. I'm still a red, white, and blue fan.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when I think of Pistons, I think of red, white, and blue, and I think that's just ingrained in my mind as Piston colors.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you played one season under the red, white, and blue before the change, right?
Yeah, we brought it back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was there at the teal, and then I've been a part of bringing the red, and white, and blue back and bringing the teal back. So I've been fortunate.
You mentioned Rasheed Wallace earlier. When you saw Rasheed playing for the Pistons, your UNC brother playing for the Pistons, winning a championship, were you like, doggone it?
Man, it was surreal, man. Just all the different dynamics. You know what I'm saying? I always claimed that no diss to Chucky Atkins or Lindsey Hunter, all those guys. They're great in their own right, but I never felt like I played with a point guard at the caliber of a Chauncey Billups. Yeah. And then when Rasheed just fell into their lap, I mean, how the hell you trade Rasheed Wallace for Bobby Sarah? So like what? Why couldn't that happen a year or two earlier? So, but no, man, I was happy for those guys because again, there was Darvin Ham, Sheed. Rip, we were ultra competitive against each other. I tried to kill him every time that I saw him. But at the same time, he's a good dude. Tayshaun and Chauncey, all those guys. So I was happy for those guys and what they were able. Just disappointed that wasn't able to be a part of kind of the what started it, so to speak.
It's funny you talk about not playing point guards. I know a thing or two about that. If you look at the point guard as a quarterback position, I know something about not playing with point guards. But you talk about Darvin.
Poor guy played 9 years in the NFL, never played with a quarterback.
Hey man, but like you said though, like I was able to kind of like navigate and do things and go places. Like I don't think it happens that way if I don't take that path. Kind of like you just said. But you talk about Darvin Ham. We just talked about guys that are now former players that are in that coaching role. Just touch on that real quick. What do you think he could do for the Los Angeles Lakers? Because I got to tell you, I like what I'm seeing and hearing. He's a true, real brother.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the realest, man. Saginaw's finest, man. Yeah. He's gonna come in there and he's gonna demand respect and hold those guys accountable. I think he has a championship pedigree, so it's not like it's a guy that hadn't won and hadn't been around winning. I mean, he's paid his dues. He worked close to Bud. He's Bud's right-hand guy. So I think you're getting a guy that knows the game of basketball. He knows from a defensive standpoint. I think that's where they're going to really benefit. They're going to find a way to score points. They're too talented to not score points, but where they need to really set their identity again is on the defensive end, and I think they got the right guy to do it.
Talking about identity, talking about defense, let's bring it back full circle to the Detroit Pistons. A lot of young talent in this team. When you look at the Pistons last year and then what they added this year, Jalen Duren in the draft, Jaden Ivey, what do you think they could be in a couple of years or even this year?
I think this. I mean, you showed you've seen it where the Phoenix Suns or the Memphis Grizzlies, how these young cores can catch lightning in a bottle fast, and I think that this roster is as talented as those rosters are. I do think they have a little bit better mix of veteran guys. You know, when you add a Chris Paul, you add a guy like that to the Phoenix Suns, it takes them to another level. So I think that's going to be key. You know, and I think they got cap flexibility to be able to go out and get a type of guy like that can really come in and be a big mentor to these guys. But not only somebody just to talk to them and tell them what to do, but can still get out on the court and be effective as well. So I love it, man. Jaden Ivey, you know, the way that he gets downhill. Cade Cunningham, he reminds me a lot of Grant Hill with the things that he can do on the court. He can handle, he can facilitate. You know, he can score. So it's just about how they buy into, you know, Coach Casey's defensive system. Coach Casey, he's been in this, you know, situation before. He's built, you know, programs. So I think they got the right guy from that standpoint to help them get there. But they just got to continue to build. But I do like this roster and the chance of them doing something special right away.
Do you ever run into Grant Hill?
I seen Grant every once in a while, man. I think, I mean, he invited, when he had his Hall of Fame, you know, he invited me up there. I mean, he was, you know, one of the guys that I went to the Hall of Fame to see him inducted there. And we chat a little bit on Instagram from time to time when people tag us on different things. But no, I don't see him as much as we probably should see each other with him being out. But he's always on TV doing something.
You guys are always moving.
He's got to be. He's taking James Brown said, the hardest working man in show business, man. Whether it's college basketball. NBA stuff, man. He keeps his face in the mix with whatever's going on basketball wise.
Talking to Jerry Stackhouse, former Piston. Jerry, you mentioned when you played here, you had to go out to Auburn Hills. What do you think, just being back and seeing the new facilities and the new arena downtown, and how loud that place is going to get when the Pistons do, in fact, build that championship contender, which we all expect very soon?
Yeah, man, it's been awesome, man. I came to the closing of the Palace, and then I was here for the opening of Little Caesars arena, and then I toured the practice facility today. Unbelievable practice facility, man. I mean, everything that you want and you need. I mean, the players got all the resources that they need to be successful, and that's all that you can ask for. You want an ownership group that wants to give you all of the things that you need to be successful, and I think Gores is, he's committed to that. He's shown that, and now it's just about, continuing to do the things they're doing in the community. And the same message that we had when we were here. We make sure that we touch the community, have a positive effect there. You continue to do those things, good things are going to happen on the basketball court. But, just walking around the city, I'm down at the Shinola Hotel, man, seeing
yes, sir.
The restaurants down there. Woodward is, it's a really, really cool vibe, and I'm excited for what the future holds for the city and for the franchise.
I want to ask you a question about a guy that you played against in college, a guy you played against in the NBA, and now you're probably coaching against at some point in time. It's Juwan Howard. Not necessarily what happened, what they did last year, not necessarily about him. What is the buzz about him in the college world, in the coaching world? What's the talk about Juwan Howard when his name comes up?
Well, I think everybody knows Juwan. He paid his dues. He was on Miami's bench. For a long time, coaching and doing the things that he needed to do from that standpoint. But he's just a basketball guy, man. He's a guy that loves basketball. He's passionate. Passion might have ran over a little bit last year, but again, it's, we're human. We make mistakes, we make errors, but it's how you bounce back from it and how you respond from it. And I think now, this is the real true test to these guys. I mean, most of those guys, they kind of inherited pretty good teams. Now it's about going out and recruiting and making sure that you maintain that. We wasn't as fortunate, in Vanderbilt to, inherit, team that had that type of success, that had that type of run. So the future, for you to continue to have that success, you got to go out and get players. But there's no question that he has the understanding and the know-how of how to scheme and coach great basketball, coach winning basketball.
All right, Jerry, final question. I'm going to put you on the spot. You ready? You have played against prime Jordan and prime LeBron. Who you got?
Oh man, I'm going with Prime Jordan, right? I mean, but if there was ever a 1.A, it has to be, LeBron has to be right there. I mean, when you just look at his accomplishments on paper, I mean, it's ridiculous of the things that he's accomplished. But it's different eras, man. I mean, like I still think Kareem is one of the greatest to me. I mean, I think for the younger generation, it's probably not even between Jordan and LeBron.
Kobe.
It's between Kobe and LeBron.
Yeah.
So I think different eras. Bill Russell, if you want to win, you better get Bill Russell on your team. So it's a lot of different ways that you can go. But for me, the GOAT is Michael Jordan.
The great Jerry Stackhouse. We love you around here. A lot of Pistons fans love you around here. And we wish you all the success in the world at Vanderbilt. And you never know. Maybe when Dwayne Casey retires.
Hey, man.
Also, maybe there's always a comeback.
I promise you this, Stack. You invite me to your house now, I won't mess the grass up.
He will not drive
I won't mess the grass up.
Boy, you better stay off my grass.
He will get an Uber driver next time.
There you go.
Or Lyft.
Man. Enjoy
anybody sponsor the show?
Lady
Jerry,
James, I
thanks,
think.
man. We appreciate it. All the
Robert.
success over there at Vanderbilt.
Lady James?
Yes. Great stuff. We'll come right back, but first a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience. Register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win the car of your dreams from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, no appointment necessary. It's wicked awesome.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new Field House. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarthy on our side.
Lemieux and McCarthy, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
OddsTrader.com is the number one site for your game day bets, play-by-play updates, live scores, and best price on every game from multiple sportsbooks. That's right, multiple sportsbooks. So the best players, the best games, the ones you want to bet on, the best. You know what? Go to OddsTrader.com for the best.
Dude, how great was it to see Jerry Stackhouse?
It was amazing in so many facets. One, big brother, obviously we talked about the story, but always gave good advice, like literally wouldn't let me drink. That's another thing I didn't bring. He wouldn't let me drink. I think I was 19, 20 when I met him. Wouldn't let me drink. He said, you ever drink? I said, no, I don't drink. He said, good, we're going to keep it that way. Just a great guy, great information. You know, the other thing I took out of it, Ryan, is something you mention all the time. Whenever we talk to guys that have played here or that are from here, they always talk about how important it is to come back, how much they enjoy their time. He talked about, and I asked him that question because I've never asked him that before. He said he was disappointed, almost heartbroken that he had to leave here. He started building it up. He saw the direction and where the Pistons were going and had to leave. You asked Isaiah, and he just kept going on about Detroit. Rip Hamilton is another guy that came in that trade, and he talks about Detroit. Guys enjoy their time in Detroit, but damn good to hear him. Damn good to see him doing good, too, as a coach at Vanderbilt down there.
And we don't have a camera out there, but you can tell the type of guy Jerry Stackhouse is, too. Look, we got all these guys in the back. They're all Pistons fans. Yep. In fact, if you had to rank their sports fandom, I think they put the Pistons number one.
I would too.
And he's taking time out there doing all kinds of pictures with those guys. I'm so happy about that.
Freddie came in here.
They're huge fans of his. So and the team. And when you talk, we were talking about the Tigers earlier, Braylon, just about Avila and everything. Doesn't it just feel different down down in Detroit at LCA with what the Pistons and the Red Wings are doing. You just feel like those two organizations, because of the leadership at the top, are doing things a different way. They're building something towards a championship level.
Stick and I talked about it yesterday. It's one of those things where, which you ask as a fan and a person that lives in the city with franchises, with organizations, as a fan, you ask them to take the team serious, to do the things necessary to provide players that we can win with in terms of free agency, to draft players that we can win with, players that are going to be here for years to come. Sounds like Cade Cunningham to me. Sounds like Mort Sider to me. It sounds like Aiden Hutchinson and Jamison Williams. They're doing things necessary to win, and we haven't seen this, especially on a complete front, with the exception of one team. As a complete front, 3 out of 4 teams, they are doing everything that you would want as a fan. So what that tells me is, Ryan, we got to do like you said. You got to jump on board now. If the team is doing everything they're supposed to, Troy Weaver is doing what he's supposed to do. Gores is doing what he's supposed to do. Brad Holmes, Sheila Ham, Steve Eiserman, Chris Illich, they're doing the things that they're supposed to do. Now you as a fan, you got to go down there and support.
And I think that's part of the fun, too, as a fan, to not just jump in, when things are good, but to jump in now if you believe in what they're doing. And I think I can honestly tell you, I can honestly sit here today in good conscience, in good faith, and tell you that I believe in what the Detroit Pistons are doing. I believe in what the Detroit Red Wings are doing. And I believe, heaven forbid, strike me dead, I believe in what the Detroit Lions are doing.
I agree. I'm saying, Maz, jump in here, man. What you think, buddy?
You just had the next head coach of the Detroit Pistons sitting in the studio.
I called it.
It's a guarantee. Book it.
And what makes you think that?
Dwayne Casey will go upstairs, like you said.
How many years are we sticking on? Because I agree with you. But
One more year.
Just one more? Okay, I can see that.
One more year.
It's funny because I did consider. Now, Jerry Stackhouse has been a really good coach at Vanderbilt.
Yep.
You might not think Vanderbilt is some powerhouse because they're not in the NCAA tournament or the Final Four or something like that.
NIT.
But you're talking about a team that won 0 league games when he got there, and now they're in the Final Four of the NIT.
They should have won.
You can't just go down the street and pluck anybody off the street at Vanderbilt. You need to have high academic standing. You need to do this. Jerry Stackhouse is a very good coach. And for anybody that thinks he's sitting right here, he has left the building.
He's gone.
So I'm not just saying this. Jerry Stackhouse is a very good coach. And I did consider Jerry Stackhouse as a possible replacement to Dwayne Casey. The other guy that I think of, and again, Dwayne Casey's not going anywhere.
Rashid.
But no. Chauncey Billups.
Okay.
I mean, he was cutting his teeth
Absolutely.
in Portland.
He's in Portland right now.
I'm glad you didn't bring up who we got traded for to the Wizards.
He did.
You brought up Rip?
No, I didn't bring it up in that. I didn't bring it up in that way.
Exactly.
I brought it up as like I was disappointed.
Why? Is he?
Well, Rip.
Because they beat you.
Rip made the team.
Rip made the team.
You don't think Rip made the Pistons take that next step?
I think Chauncey did.
I think Chauncey. To your point, I think Chauncey as a leader, but Rip was a part of it too. Like it's almost like you can't.
I wish Stack could have stayed.
To be honest with you,
I wouldn't have asked him that though.
To be honest with you, I think that was one of the most unique teams in sports history.
Because Rasheed, when he got here, added a different element.
Yeah.
Ben Wallace was the staple in the middle. Like everybody played their part to the T, and that's why there were no individuals on the team. They were going to work Pistons because all 5, 6, 7 of them, they went to work.
You saw what Kendrick Perkins wrote.
Yeah, he did.
He said he'd take the 04 Pistons against anybody.
Over any NBA champion.
Anybody to win it. And
in a 7-game series.
They can win a 7-game series. And I always compared them, and I know this is way back. I swear, the 73 Knicks and the 04 Pistons, to me, are identical. Identical.
Give me a quick Cliff Notes version of the 73 Knicks.
Willis Reed.
Yeah.
Walt Frazier. Earl Monroe.
Willis, right?
Earl Monroe, Walt Frazier. Dave DeBusschere. Bill Bradley.
Phil Jackson was on that team, right?
Yeah, Phil Jackson off the bench. Jerry Lucas, one of the best three-point shooters off the bench, although he didn't have three-point shots back then. But he could sink it, and he never missed a free throw. Dean Meminger, little rookie guard. Guys like that. It was such a cohesive team. No, they were all superstars. I mean, Willis Reed was a superstar. Walt Frazier, Earl Monroe, superstars. Yeah. But they played like the 04 Pistons. They all played and fed off each other, and they suffocated you on defense. Walt Frazier, one of the best defensive guards in NBA history.
It feels like, with the exception of obviously Willis Reed and Walt Frazier, with the exception of those two, it seemed like when everybody got into that point in that 1973 season for the New York Knickerbockers, it seemed like they all had been other places and had individual success. So they've all had, and now they were coming to that place where that individual success didn't translate into championships. And they came together in '73 in the Garden, kind of like the Pistons did. So I think that's amazing. Example.
So funny to see his college best friend too, Rasheed Wallace, then come here, get traded here, and win a title where he had all the blood, sweat, and tears. Because I mean, Jerry Stackhouse. Think about this. Jerry Stackhouse averaged 29.3 points per game. And that, I think it was the 2000 season, 2001 season.
It was 2000.
Yeah, I mean,
he represented us at the All-Star game.
Oh, twice.
Twice.
Yep.
Twice. Only two All-Stars were here in Detroit.
Say what you want
and
about
went number 2 overall, if I'm not mistaken.
That Teal team, I enjoyed watching them. As bad as they not successful, but I enjoyed watching them.
I hated the teal uniform, and that's what I wanted to talk about, but we had other questions that were more pressing, more important. I hated the teal uniforms because, one, to me, they represented kind of like the end. It's Fat Joe Dumars. It's blah, blah, blah.
It was Fat Joe Dumars. Braylon, can I stop you for a second?
Go ahead.
Because the teal uniform, to me, is not Grant Hill era. It's not Jerry Stackhouse era. It is Fat Joe Dumars era.
I agree. And literally, I hated those jerseys until...
How did he get like that?
Me and Jerry Stackhouse, well, I mean, a lot of success in the years over. Me and Jerry Stackhouse got cool and became big brother. Then I liked the uniforms, but just for him. And then they traded him, so I was like, well, I hate the uniforms. I think now it's the nostalgia pieces. A lot of jerseys that were not well-liked back in the day, whether it's the 70s, whether it's the
Creamsicle
80s.
Bucks, they wore those.
None of those were liked back then, but it's the nostalgia piece and how they kind of redo them. And it's the young culture, like he said, Generation Z. They like going back and wearing old stuff regardless of what it looks like.
Remember the teal back then is when the Hornets were born as well. They were the first teal team.
They were cold.
They were the first teal team, and
that was fire.
Some teams started to copy.
I mean, the Vancouver Grizzlies.
Yeah, the Vancouver with Big Bryant. What was his name?
Brian Reeves.
Big
Country. Though teal was that was it, man. It was the rage back then.
So lots of good stuff there, guys. No doubt about it. And we certainly thank the Detroit Pistons for...
How about our guys in the back? How geek they were.
I love it. That's what this is all about, right? I mean, that's what this is all about. Experiences. I can tell you that having this job, I experienced some of the greatest moments of my life because I have this job.
Me too.
And, you know, for a lot of guys cutting their teeth in the back, this is their new experiences now. So,
Easy had him sign his head.
Oh, really?
Stack signed Easy's head.
That's great. I don't know about that.
In the span of a week, we've had Spencer Haywood and now Jerry Stackhouse.
Look at that.
Just in the span of a week. Well, we own something up here at Woodward Sports, man.
Yes, we do.
No doubt. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. Come right back. I want to get back to the NFL. Very intriguing addendum to the contract that Kyler Murray signed. I want to ask you about that, and I'll tell you what I would have said if somebody asked me to put this in the contract, in writing. We'll do that next, but first a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
You want the money, you sign the deal. That's the way it goes. Period. We'll talk about it.
You get more money from
Chili Peppers Tanning, 27 locations, more on the way, 2 right here on Woodward. That's right. And if you join the Peppers Club, not only do you meet the Chili Pepper girls, but you get the cleanest salons in the D, and they'll beat everybody, all their competitors, by $5 on unlimited tanning and more. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters. It's chilipepperstanning.com.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, Come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey, it's the Ciabatta Summer at Big Boy. Ciabatta Summer salads, hand dip shakes.
Hand dip.
All at Big Boy. That's right. Try a chicken club. Chicken cordon bleu or a sunrise ham and cheddar all on our grilled, delicious ciabatta bread. If you want to keep it light, how about the salads? The Michigan apple, the chicken Caesar, or the Greek salad. And then don't forget, save room for those shakes. Hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shakes, chocolate shakes, vanilla, whatever you want. You heard it here first. Summer just got better at Big Boy.
Ooh-wee. Look at that. Big boy.
Big boy.
Hey, hit that like button for us on YouTube. Let's get to over 100 likes by the time this segment ends.
We don't have 100 likes yet?
That would be fantastic. Also, subscribe to Woodward Sports Network. Just shy of 700 subscribers to get to 30,000. Milestone number there for the network. Thank you for that.
There we go.
All right, Brandon, I have been fired up about this one. And it's in regards to Kyler Murray's new contract. $230 million extension, 5 years.
160
averaging 46 million plus a year. Well, there's been an addendum to that contract, and it mandates that he study game film of the opponent for 4 hours, independent study outside of the building on his iPad or whatever. And that's the unintended consequence of this contract.
Right.
Microsoft is a huge sponsor of the NFL.
He's
and they're
not
talking
allowed
about
to have
iPads.
He's not allowed to have
televisions on.
And games. No games, no Madden, no nothing going on during study time. I don't know how they're going to
can I just
check that out, though.
You go first, please.
First of all, this is bullshit. And the reason why, go ahead and jot that down, Sam. The reason why is this. We know how this position started off. They wouldn't let black quarterbacks play. They believed black guys weren't intelligent enough to be in control of the offense. Hence why a lot of quarterbacks had to go play in Canada. Warren Moon played 6 years in Canada. Like, it took them forever to get to this place. And I'm not trying to make it about race, but I'm just giving you a little backstory. So now you got a black quarterback that you said doesn't take the game serious. You know what this shows me? This is petty. The Arizona Cardinals are angry. They feel Kyler Murray backed them into a corner. Him and his agent. Oh, by the way, his agent is the same agent that Cliff Kingsbury has, which is funny. Backed them into a corner, made them pay him an extension. So as opposed to just do this, because there are other people that have addendums, but they don't announce them publicly. They don't put it out there for all the masses to see. Yeah, this guy doesn't take the game serious. They just tell them behind closed doors, hey, you better do this. This is a card stipulation, but they don't tell anybody. But what they did, because they were mad that Kyler backed them into a corner, they knew they had to pay him because he was an elite quarterback. He is going to be one of the best quarterbacks. He has potential to be one of the best quarterbacks. What he's done, some of his stats, no one has ever done before. So they say, you know what? We'll pay you your extension, but we're going to be petty about it. We're going to leak. We're going to not even leak. We're going to put this out there that this is what you have to do. By saying that, you have to at least study 4 hours. You know how short 4 hours is? But as a quarterback, to say that you have to at least, like, that's the baseline, you have to at least study 4 hours, that means they don't believe they take it serious. So what they just did for him by putting that out there, one, you got teammates. Now, I've heard this, but this was the first thing I thought about. Just imagine when Kyler Murray throws his first interception because he made a horrible read. Or just imagine things that happen as they start to go bad. What are his teammates going to start thinking about? His teammates are going to be like, damn, I wonder if he's doing those 4 hours of study. What are people around the league going to think about? When this deal is starting to come to an end and he hasn't necessarily performed to the best of the deal, let's say he's gotten somewhat close, people can go back and point and say, you know what? I wonder if this guy took it serious. Now He's got to worry about future GMs, future deals, future moves, because this tells me he's not going to be with the Cardinals forever. Like, there's no extension on another deal after this deal. Like, the Cardinals showed their hand. Kyler gracefully took it, got quiet. He won't be signing back with them. But they're setting it up so he can't get paid again unless he's spectacular. This was some BS, and Kyler should have told his agent to kiss his ass.
So there are so many different layers to this. First and foremost, I think it's embarrassing for the organization. It's embarrassing for the organization. If you are making a decision to pay a quarterback, a player on your team, $230 million in an extension, if you don't believe he's doing the homework, well then shame on you. Shame on you. If you don't believe he is doing any sort of homework outside of what happens in the building, and you make the decision to give him $230 million, you get what you deserve. That's number one. Number two, I would have never signed this contract if I was Kyler Murray. I would have told the Arizona Cardinals to go F themselves. I would have played out the remainder of my contract, which was this year, and I would go pick my spot because he will get paid this and then some if he was on the open market. That's one. And two, you would never in a million years put this in a white quarterback's contract.
100%. They would.
You would never put this in Josh Allen's contract or make it public. You would never put it in Kirk Cousins. It just wouldn't happen. And I say that we had just talked about in the last week, Jamarcus Russell went on with Ryan Clark and talked to him about getting a blank tape from the Raiders. And, that became a story about the black quarterback not doing his homework. We want to see if he's going to put this tape in the VCR. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't have gotten out. And I do feel like Kyler Murray deserves some sort of blowback in here too, because he should have never signed that contract, because it's arbitrary now. I don't know how you can track it. If they want to get rid of him, they're going to point to this contract because it's probably untrackable.
With that being said, I'll get back into the Kyler Murray thing, but the black quarterback thing, they always try to find a narrative to negate a black quarterback. With Lamar Jackson, he's not really a quarterback. With Cam Newton, he's celebrating too much. With Kyler Murray, he's not watching film. There's always a reason to try to negate the black quarterback. Getting back to Kyler Murray, I would have signed the deal, because if he doesn't sign the deal, if he gets hurt, now it's already out there that, one, you're not a leader. You're not a team guy. You don't watch film. You're not serious about it. So if he doesn't sign this deal, which is still a multi-million, $100 million deal, if he doesn't sign this deal and then he goes out there and gets hurt, now he's at risk of being Baker Mayfield. Now he's at risk of trying to beg to find a team. Somebody sign me. Somebody pick me up. I still got skill. I would sign the deal just like he did. And you know what? I know where they stand, but it ain't about them. I know where my team stands. I know where my teammates are. It's about my teammates. It's about winning, because at the end of the day, they drafted you number one overall to do a job. So what I would do, I sign the deal. I'd be quiet. I know where they stand. I'll go out there and ball, because I guarantee you, one, he wants to get better at studying film anyway. Thing two, what you talked about, if he goes out there and he doesn't watch 4 hours, let's say they can't track the 4 hours.
He should do 4 hours a night.
That's what I was about to say. I agree. That's what great quarterbacks do, more than that. But if he goes out there, they can't track the 4 hours, or they do track the 4 hours, and they go out there and they're 14-3, I guarantee you they're not worried about those 4 hours that they put in that addendum. So they won't be able to track it. I would have signed a deal like he did, but guess what? I'm not coming back to the Apple with the Arizona Cardinals no matter what.